Now, as with everything in this parliament, and as Chris was just alluding to, the fate of that Building and Construction Commission will ultimately rest on pure mathematics. To pass the bill, the government needs at least 6 of the 8 crossbenchers to support it, and it's well short of the mark at present. There are just 2 votes that appear to be in the bag. One of them is the South Australian Family First Senator, Bob Day. Well, Bob Day, you came from the housing industry before politics. It seems fairly clear that you've made up your mind about the Building and Construction Commission. Why is it so necessary in your view?
Well, I supported the bill last time and I'll support it again this time. It should never have been abolished. You know, it was like taking customs officers out of airports. Criminal activity skyrocketed. We need to bring them back.
So lots of your crossbench colleagues are wanting more information. They want a briefing on that secret redacted volume of the Royal Commission report. Is that material to you in any way? Well,
no. I respect the Commissioner's recommendations that be kept confidential, so it doesn't compromise any potential prosecutions.
So even if it's offered, you would not be taking up any briefing or reading?
No, I won't. I don't want to read it. I don't want to see those names or even the redacted version. The Royal Commissioner has been very clear in his recommendations that part be kept confidential to ensure that any prosecutions and any action that's taken as a result of evidence taken in the Royal Commission is not compromised.
And so do you think it's bad in policy that the government seems prepared to offer some form of briefing or redacted reading to other senators?
Well, you know, the government's between a rock and a hard place. You know, they've got 2 options here. They've got a bad option or a worse option. Now, you know, clearly they've taken what they think is the bad option, and that's offering to show the confidential report. They think that a worse option would be not to show it, but I disagree with that. I don't think it was a good idea to do that, but I can certainly understand the government's predicament.
Taking the Greens out of the equation, there are, of course, 8 of you on the crossbench. It looks like the government's only got about 2 of the necessary 6 votes they would need to pass this. Is that your reading of the situation?
Well, they've got 2 confirmed supporters. That's myself and Senator Lionhelm. But from what I've heard and seen, I think they're reasonably close with some of the others, and a long way away with a couple of the other crossbenchers. But, you know, I can't comment on it.
Obviously, the prospect of double dissolution arises if this is rejected. Does that play on your mind in any way?
No, not at all. No, this is about this particular issue. It's really important. There are a lot of people hurting very badly as a result of the activity that goes on some of these commercial and industrial building sites that needs to be fixed, needs to be off the table, and then they can address a number of other activities and corruption. Corruption's really corrosive. It's debilitating for honest employers and honest employees who don't participate in that sort of activity.
You're saying a lot of people are hurting, but in what way does this filter down the line to everyday trade unionists or everyday workers?
Well, you talked to many people who gave evidence to the Royal Commission on the devastating effect it had on their lives, and the way they can't go about their business. They were intimidated, they were coerced, and of course then the cost explosion, that passes through onto consumers because it means buildings cost a lot more to build, and that then is played through in the rent and the cost to consumers.
But why not? What of the Labor argument that says where crimes are committed, there are police forces in every state? Indeed, there's still an ongoing investigatory role from the Royal Commission itself. Why do you need this freestanding watchdog?
Well, because every state also, as well as having policemen on the beat and in patrol cars and constables, you also have a staff force and a special branch of the police that deal with special cases. You don't send 2 constables in short sleeve shirts up to a bikie fortress, for example, and demand to search the place. You have very special police forces, and this is a very special case, and you need a special group, and the ABCC clearly fulfilled that role previously. And like I said, when it was abolished, criminal activity went up, they need to be brought back.
And the proposed powers that it has, many say are draconian. Are you suggesting they could even go further?
I'm saying that special cases need special forces, like they do with the Star Force. I think the previous activity of the ABCC was not draconian. They dealt with matters at hand as they had to be dealt with. And from what I hear, Senator Lionhelm's proposing a sunset clause so that there is a definite ending to the legislation. So I think that's a reasonable case as well.
Now, just more broadly, as we head into the political year of 2016, the Turnbull government is going to want to show results, that it can get an agenda up and then pass it. What do you think that means for crossbench senators like yourself? A greater willingness to negotiate, to get results?
Well, for this crossbench senator, I was elected on a platform of every family a job and a house. That's been family first as rock solid foundational principles. We want if every family in Australia had a job and owned their own home, I dare say that Australia and the economy wouldn't be in the mess that it's in. So I'll just keep pushing that agenda for more employment participation, more jobs, particularly for the unemployed. Somebody has to go into bat for the unemployed, and I'm not seeing much of that at the moment. Someone has to go into bat for housing affordability. I'm not seeing much of that at the moment either.
But the dynamic of an election year, does it invariably mean more pressure on the likes of yourselves on the crossbench?
Well, it possibly does. That's hanging over us, that if there's a double dissolution, how many of us would be re-elected?
Would you?
Well, who knows? That'd be up to the voters. I would like to think so, but we'll wait and see.
Mathematically, the chances actually increase, don't they?
Yes, they do. It halves the quota and, well, we'll see how it goes.
All right. Bob Day, let's see how the year plays out.
Thanks very much. Thank you.